Amanda.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Mushoku Tensei, Season 2, Episode 14. Last week we were welcomed back into the world of Mushoku Tensei with the first episode of Part 2 of Season 2. It was a pretty good introduction back into the series. I feel like I haven't really left since the end of Season 2, but it was a very nice and smooth episode to return. We had Rudy buying a house and going all, ghost adventures on it. I loved it with the boys.
Honestly, what a great way to get someone back into it with that episode. I had so much fun with last episode.
I wanted Rudy to be like, all right, Cliff, go upstairs alone and lock the door for 30 minutes with this voice recorder.
Oh, poor Aaron in Ghost Adventures.
I don't know. Ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Think we're gonna get like a welcome party for the new house? Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense here too.
Everyone? Eris, Ruijerd? The family? Or am I... Alright, okay. Just okay. I was getting too excited. Soul? Soul? Fuck. Damn it.
She looks so cute.
She looks very cute.
That is a realistic worry.
That's fair.
Because you're their boss. That's very true. But not a Hoshi. Selfie! What type of question would you have for Elise?
I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to get my hopes up.
Oh my god, please.
自分はジンジャーヨークと申します。ご意志に背くことはできません。私が教えられるような存在では。
俺が地下に閉じ込められたせいで計画は頓挫しかけたが、ジンジャーはジンジャーでザババに人形を渡して俺に接触させたりと裏でいろいろ動いていたらしい。
No!
Please!
No! Fuck off! There's no way!
Real. Oh my god. This better be real.
Oh!
This better be real.
You don't think it's like a metal arm,
What the
do you?
fuck was
The
that?
rib cage? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to like frame by frame it because I don't want to ruin anything for us, but I'm expectations.
It better be real.
I love shopping trips. Aww. I'm so excited.
A lot of times when you have something cozy and wholesome, it's just gonna get all messed up.
I love how that bases the clothing type.
No. Absolutely not.
Yes! That one!
That one!
It's black. I'm okay with it, I guess. Lucky rat pelts from the Demon Continent. Okay,
cool.
Throwback. Kazura's designs.
Oh, it looks
Nice.
nice. Okay. It's like a little upgrade.
The one before was pretty cool, though. It's kind of a flex, though, you know? Ooh.
You get a discount.
Yes!
Thank you, Luke. Doesn't even know what he did.
Luke's such a good guy.
But he did it.
Aww. Aww.
Aww. Well, they are almost married, so.
Don't forget your goals, Rudy. I mean, you bought a house, bro.
I like his hair
Aw.
down, actually.
ために頑張って覚えたと思ってるのさ。
シルフィエットさんが理想の嫁すぎて私釣り合いが取れているか不安でなりません。
レディ大好きだよ。
Immediately.
Snow's melting.
披露宴当日ゾルダートには忙しいと断られた。
Damn it.
バーディーガーディは意外と暇らしく参加を表明。それ以外の人たちも招待状を
I'm trying to
Nanahoshi's
imagine.
here. Where's Bodygotti?
I'm trying to imagine Bodygotti in
七
here,
星も招待状を受け取ったのだ。
which surprises me, to be honest.
珍しいな、あの部屋から出てくるなんて。
あなたが誘ったんですか？
今日はゆっくりしていってくれ。ポテトチップスとかも用意したからな。
え、作ったの？
That's so fucking cool. Oh.
レディ
He thought of what would make her comfortable to be there.
さて、あとはバーディーガーディ。
Oh, please.
1000年単位で生きている方は時間にルーズですのよ。1ヶ月後ぐらいに来ると思っていた。
A month or so late.
悪いなバーディ。
You'll have like a random intrusion in a month.
You'll think it's the ghost.
改めて宣言いたしますが、私ルーデウスとこちら。
Yes!
あ
バーディーガーディ遅刻ですよ。
When least expected.
that was great then. But he still wanted to be here and made it.
Aw. He's so considerate.
では気を取り直して。
Q Soul.
忙しい中お集まりいただき。
Q Kishirika.
改めて宣言いたしますが。
It's now their wedding party.
こちらシルフィエットは結婚します。
God.
何かあったら力になってくれ。よろしく。
Good. We have what she wants to. Such like a cat beast person to sit by the fire. No!
Juliet.
まだわだかまりがあるとは思うが、よろしくやろうじゃないか。
俺にはそんなもんはないんだが。
Bro, you got me this discount.
よろしく、ルーク先輩。
奥方様、師匠の伴侶を男と見間違うなど、今までのご無礼をお許しください。
No, that was the point. It's
開
okay.
けてください。ルディだって間違えてたんだからしょうがないです。
恥ずかしながら、俺も男だと間違えていた。
お行儀が悪いの。
お前も食いながらじゃないか。
This almost feels like a video game.
来てくれてありがとう。
Where they're each walking up separately.
まさかボスとフィッツが結婚とはにゃ。でも強い者同士がくっつくのはいいことにゃ。
Strong people get together.
強い子供が生まれれば一族安泰なの。
従属のスケール感で言われても困っちゃうの。
七星さん、一つ聞いていい？
何かしら。
前にルディと七星さんが同居って言ってたよね。あれってどういう？
Now's not the time. Oh my god.
I mean, Sylphie literally came from the same place within this world.
言語を扱えたから勘違いしただけよ。
Wow.
It's like for a second he was like okay
Okay
with
with
her
it.
telling the truth.
ルーです。よかったですわね。病気が治って。
報告したら本当かどうか確かめて伝えますわとか言って襲ったでしょ。
私、パウロの娘になるつもりはございませんのよ。あなたの幸福を心よりお祝い。ごめんなさい。私としたことが。
もしかしてエリナリーゼさんって僕のおばあちゃんですか？
The eyes.
お父さんが言ってました。僕のおばあちゃんはパウロさんの仲間だった。それが原因でお父さんは大森林を追われ結婚にも反対されたと聞きました。たまに話してくれた内容がエリナリーゼさんと重なる部分があったから。
What the?
もしかしたら。
そういえば、シルフィーの作ってくれたペンダントとエリナリーゼの
I
ペンダン
thought
ト
that
と同
was
じもの
like
だったな。
シルフィもその話は後で落ち着いてからでいいか。
私はこんなですけど、ロールズは普通の子ですのよ。もちろんその の子供のシルフィーも
Oh my god, she's kind of like.
心配しないでください。エリナリーゼさんが原因でシルフィーと別れたりはしませんから。
Oh my god.
そんなことより大嫌いなパウロと親戚になることを心配した方がいいんじゃないですか？
あなたこんな時に面白いことを言いますのね。
That
What?
came out of fucking nowhere.
I thought the pendant was because of like elf.
お幸せに。それと今度ここのお風呂入りに来ていい？マスター。
That would be my question.
少々今日が乗りすぎたようですな。
Carry him home, body.
クリフさん、おばあちゃん。
This is so
I'm.
だけどいいかな。
wild.
I don't know if I should feel dumb or just like I don't even know. Wait, I want to be a fly on the wall. Take
We
me
might
with
be.
you.
We might be.
あの二人大丈夫なのか？
シルフィーはいかがなさいましたか？
I wonder if Ariel knew about
エリ
this.
ナリーゼさんと話しております。
少々お時間をいただけます
I
か？
wonder if that's why she was allowed to attend with Rudy.
失礼を承知で言いますが、ルークと決闘していただけませんか？
Oh,
話術なし剣と剣で
sword against sword.
わからん。こんな試合が何になる
Is this
と
part
いう
of
のだろ
getting
うか。
married?
できればお願いいたします。
ルーデウス頼む。
Is it just like making sure that Sylphie's like in good hands?
Maybe, or it's something that one has to do in order to serve under Ariel. They both are so serious about it.
Let's see how serious Luke takes it.
Very serious. Wow.
God, I love the animation in the show. Holy.
終わりです。
His hand.
治癒魔術を。
大丈夫だ。
I didn't know
シルフィーの
Rudy was that fucking capable in just a sword. It's awesome. I know he trains, of course, but
決闘した理由をもう少し説明していただけると助かります。
私たちはシルフィーが好きです。
シルフィーを任せるに足るか腕試しをされた
They
とい
love
うこと
her.
なのだろうな。
戻れば王になるか死ぬか、二つに一つ。それが私の義務です。しかしシルフィーには付き合う義務はありません。私は彼女に甘えるのをやめ、シルフィー
does depend on what she wants, though. You know, she seems pretty adamant.
い
Mhm.
ずれ子供もできれば私たちについてくるという考え
That's
は自然
true.
と消えていくはずです。でも、もしそう思わなかったら、
Wow.
きちんと止めて
Stop her.
むしろ俺は一緒についていき、手
I
伝おう
wonder
と
if
する
that's
気が
why
するが
Ariel was pushing so much for
も
Sylvie
し
and
あな
Rudy.
たがシルフィーを大切にしていなければ、私たちは彼女を取り返します。
We will take her back.
Luke's so cool.
やはりエリナ・リーゼはシルフィーのそばだったらしい。
Crazy.
彼女は呪いと本来の性格でもってトラブルが絶えなかった。故に子供を産んでも自分の名前は明か
Wow.
さず一人前に成長するまで面倒を見たら縁を切るということを続けてきたそうだ。シルフィーのことも一目見て自分の孫かひ孫だと分かったらしい。で
Mm.
も正体は明かすまいと考えていたそうだ。
正直彼女は僕が思っていた人とは違った。
ほう。で、
さすがに幻滅したか。
No.
好きな相手に実は子供どころか孫がいたんだからな。
リーゼは想像以上に魅力深くか弱い人だ。
He's gonna find
呪
a
いは
cure.
絶対に僕が治す。相手の事情がどうであろうと、僕の理想と違おうと、僕には僕
I
を
love
愛
the
してくれ
score.
る一人の女性を幸せにする義務がある。何より僕は彼女を愛しているからな。っていうか、僕とお前は友達だろ。敬語はやめろ。
嫌です。
ルディ、僕ね、髪を伸ばそうと思うんだ。
よろしいのでしょうか。
なんで敬語になるの？ルディにずっと好きでいてもらえる
Did the
ように
intro, right? The
頑張ら
original?
ないとね。
なんだそのセリフ。泣けてくるんだけど。
She did have long hair,
俺も
didn't
嫌われない
she?
ように努力しないとな。
Now that he's thinking about, you know, he's starting to start his own family, of course, all of this would come back.
I wonder if the idea of Ellen Elise being a grandmother would like irk Rudy to be like, okay, if I want to have a kid, I want my kid to have a grandmother on my side. Let's go fucking save Zenith, you know?
Mhm.
Rui Jerd is without a doubt the godfather, right? If they have a kid.
Yeah.
You like
He'd always protect those kids, you know it.
he'd mail like the most personal gifts even though he isn't there.
He'd never
Physically.
forget their birthdays.
Never.
Ever.
It's so interesting. It's like that it's the past versions of themselves, you know?
God, I'm so excited. This has me so excited.
Okay, that was Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Episode 14. Pretty good episode.
Yeah, I know. I feel so good and cozy right now and happy.
It's a definitely feel good, cozy, happy. I didn't expect another like feel good, cozy episode.
I really didn't either. I think
I thought that
has
like
feelings.
it was gonna be episode 13 was like that slow buffer to get back into a season, and then this was gonna like pick up like on more like consistent like or heavier plot points propelling us forward. But I mean, we did get one fucking revelation that came out of fucking nowhere, which is Elle and Elise being Jesus.
I think adding that in here on this episode is what brings us to kind of the heavier, bigger plot points. Because obviously in this episode we use that character, Elle and Elise, to re-bring up what Rudy's goal was in the first core of season 2, which was, you know, curing himself. And now we move back to what we all know should be the goal, and that is family.
Yeah. I love the slice of life stuff, and I love it being cozy and like calm just because I like the characters a lot, and like, you know, the interactions are very like cozy, I would say. But goddamn, I don't want to look at the intro again, but just from the one watch through, I'm trying not to set my expectations too high of like, oh yeah, this season we are going to get the entire fucking squad together, including Paul and Roxy,
and we're all gonna fight.
And all fight to try to get Zenith. Like, I'm not going to expect that because I saw it in an intro and I know better because sometimes they're deceiving. But if that does come to fruition, I don't know what I'll be able to do. I don't know what I would do with myself.
But also, it could be deceiving in terms of if it would actually happen in this core 2 of season 2. Like, you just brought up how, like, during the episode when Sylphie's like, oh, maybe I'll grow my hair out. We've seen kind of visuals of her with longer hair in a different intro. In a different opening that obviously now she's saying it. You know, we've never known her to have long hair. And so it's like maybe some of the things that were happening in this opening aren't even for now. They're more just like what's to come in the future.
I could see that.
But I almost feel like I don't want to watch the opening again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there was so much in it that I feel like I could pick apart, that I tried to almost remove my like thinking brain while I was watching it.
Yeah. I'm just pulling up the last intro of first part of season 2. It does look like it's Sylphie, and it does look like it's hair that's a bit longer than
it's at least like
she has now.
I think a little bit below shoulder.
Yeah. But so I'm gonna take that for what we said it as. But yeah, I'm definitely down to watch the intro going forward in episode.
Yeah, but
not like break down like scene by
analysis.
scene, just because I don't want to take anything away. You know.
But there was one thing that I took away that I can't remove from my brain. Norn and Aisha.
Yeah.
That I can't take away. It has stuck.
Okay, if we're gonna get into Norn and Aisha, that makes me want to bring up the outro when we see everybody around the chair and the past selves, like, you know, looking at them. And then that makes me fucking worried that both Paul and Zenith are gonna die. Like, I'm terrified of there being a future that Norn and Aisha, along with, you know, Rudy and everybody else, is that next generation of family, and we're being shown and focused that not only as like a preamble to setting out to rescue, but we've heard that like, yep, sending messages to Paul, haven't heard anything back yet. And we don't know where Zenith is. And granted, the intro seemed like Paul was there in the attempt to rescue Zenith. I'm worried about the potential aftermath of that in bringing up Norn and Aisha.
I feel like there could be aftermath that's negative in terms of Paul, but I would say the Norn and Aisha would be happening before any sort of battling. And I think that it's very plausible that because Rudy now has a stability in terms of a home that can house multiple people and extended family, that Paul would be like, okay, this is a safe place to send the kids.
Yeah.
They can go to school, you know, and they have family to look out for them, room and
While
board,
we go on
you know,
this
while we
rescue attempt.
while
That's
we
true.
continue saving people that were, you know, moved across the planet from this mass teleportation, while we also try to save Zenith. I think it's just plausible that they would be sent there now that Rudy has a stability, and that his focus can now be moved towards looking out for his family instead of what it was prior.
I really liked that second outfit.
The second jacket,
Yeah, that Rudy tried on.
like
Not
the reptilian camo.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. Like, I don't get me wrong, it would have been a fucking mess to have going forward in the series during like action
Right.
sequences. And for that and for Rudy's character, I prefer the latter, but god damn it.
When
Looked so cool.
Sophie said, this one looks nice, I didn't realize that Sophie had a new cloak or robe in her hands. I was like not paying attention to that because I was still so fixated on what Rudy was wearing that I thought that was his old robe in her hands, because it is so similar. What he currently has, like what he has now, is like an upgrade of
Yeah.
the old, as he said, shabby robe. And so when she's like, this one looks nice, let's go with this, I was like, we're going with it? What? And as you said, in terms of like animating going forward, that would be, you know, could be difficult. I don't actually know because I've never animated anything, but I can just guess that it would be difficult moving in action scenes.
Just consistency too. I mean, fuck. But the lucky rat pelts from the demon continent, I feel like that's just a nice, wholesome throwback to mass teleportation where we started. Did you have any favorite character interactions from the quote unquote wedding reception, if you'd even call it that?
I think Nanahoshi actually making an appearance is one of in my top two. I would say my top two, actually top three. There's a top three. Nanahoshi, Ariel and Luke with the duel, and which we'll talk about, and then Elle and Elise with the grandma.
Okay. I loved Body's entrance, don't get me wrong, but the idea of Nanahoshi showing up and Rudy going out of his way to make potato chips, and Nanahoshi's just sitting in the corner like chowing
Under the
down.
mask, yeah.
I love it. I thought that also, you brought it up during the episode, but it seemed like Rudy had almost come to terms with the idea of letting Nanahoshi tell the origin of, like, you know, it seemed like he was a little bit like sweat droplet on the
like,
face, but he was smiling. Yeah,
but he loves Sylphie.
Yeah.
So I feel like in that moment, it's almost like we've seen a Rudy who's tried, I mean, season 1 Rudy especially, put on so much, like was trying to be and put forth this certain type of person. He was playing games. He was acting like this was literally a dating sim or life sim that he was playing, and he could get points with people depending on what he said and did.
Yeah.
And now it's like he's really come to, it really shows the difference between Rudy and Nanahoshi is that Nanahoshi has never become a part of this world, has always wanted to keep separately, and Rudy has really kind of, we haven't, since this core 2, seen the old Rudy, you know what I mean? The like Rudy before coming to this world.
Yeah.
This has all just been this Rudy and his life. It's like his immersion, we're really seeing it. Like this has become his life. These are the people that he cares about. This is the woman that he loves and that he's going to marry. And I thought that was a really nice touch, if I was reading it correctly, that in that moment he's like, well, if Nanahoshi tells the truth, he's not going to ask someone to lie for him, you know, necessarily, depending. I think old Rudy would have asked someone to lie for him, but I don't know if the current Rudy would.
It would be an interesting revelation to everybody in the room.
Yeah. How private were these little, like, everyone coming up and saying something?
Yeah, saying their piece.
But I did read it, that Rudy would have been okay with this being said to Sylphie because of his love for Sylphie.
Man.
How do you explain it, though?
I do feel like an idiot a bit for not, like, honing in on the Ellen Elise Sylphie, like, in just terms of, like, how similar their character designs are and their haircuts are and, like, everything.
Was just an elf thing.
But I I can see it, definitely.
I honestly, I really love that idea that more so than ever, I think that this episode was giant in terms of like Ellen Elise's character, obviously, for obvious reasons. I remember when we first met her, it seemed like she was kind of flippant about her curse, like, oh, yep, this is my curse. And we didn't know if we could, like, believe that it really was a curse or if it was just, like, her, like, she actually just really likes to do that sort of thing and that is her personality and she just calls it a curse.
Yeah.
And it's not actually something that is she has to do or she'll die. But now, as we've grown to kind of know her and we know that Cliff wants to cure her and get rid of the curse, this episode hurt in that regard, because one of the first things she does is like try to reassure Rudy that Sylphie should have none of her traits and he shouldn't have to worry, and that like hurt.
I liked Rudy like breaking the tension with the joke of like, I think you should be more worried about you being related to Paul.
Yeah. And that just, it really hurt. And then of having her cry there, it really just solidified my like hope that, thank goodness Cliff is just this sincere little guy that that wants to love her and care for her and get rid of this curse for her, because that's exactly what she's probably been deep down hoping to find, is someone that like is willing to help her get rid of this. She obviously, now more than ever I can say, she does not want to be this way forever. She's cut ties with her family because of this. It's not because she doesn't want to have ties with her family, it's because she's embarrassed by this. And as soon as they were old enough to care for themselves, she left.
Yeah. What do you think of Rudy's like decision or just nature to be formal with like everyone for the most part? Like we got it touched upon a couple of times this episode, like you don't need to be so formal, whether it's from Cliff or from Sylphie, you know? But like I'm thinking like just how much Rudy has grown, that if like, let's say years from now we run into Eris and everything like that, if Rudy's being very polite, would somebody like Eris be like, stop being so formal, like slap you on the back of your head? Because there is that like the interaction with Sylphie like and Rudy in the hot tub, there is that break of formality and like just this Rudy that we always knew from like early on in season 1. But I think that it's more of like a merger now between just being polite and formality to like his old self. I think that polite nature is a part of what he wants to like portray to people, because he's gracious and you know,
wants to be respectful. He wants to, it's care.
Yeah.
I could read it as care. Like he's being caring about and thoughtful about the words he uses and how he interacts with people and how it might make people feel, which I think is him taking, I think what we see now from Rudy is almost like him taking from his past as like what would I want as traits for myself if I really could be reborn? What type of person would I really want to be, and how would I want to treat the people in my life and the world? How would I want to be perceived? And what has grown is, you know, while he has his quirks, he's still very thoughtful, very observant as a person.
I really enjoyed the Rudy Luke fight. It was definitely like, okay, I get it. Like, if this is a person, Sylphie, who's been so close to you guys for so long, you want to make sure that the person you're, you know, like, they're going to be spending the rest of their life with is going to be capable of defending them. I love the animation in the fight. It just made me want more, though. Like, I love Mushoku Tensei fight animation.
There's
so
like
dynamic.
Right. There's another layer on it that is, we need you to be strong enough and love her enough to stop her from inevitably wanting to fight in the future for Ariel, and you yourself fight instead on behalf of her.
What do you think of Ariel being like, once she does have kids, that desire will start to slowly fade away?
I think that's a hope. I think that it could possibly be that, of course, that's even more so why Ariel was like so excitable. Other than like wanting Sylphie to be happy, it could be that was another point to look at it was like, oh, if he does love Sylphie back, then Sylphie's focus and goals could change from needing to be my bodyguard to getting married and having kids. Therefore, she will be safe and not feel responsibility to me. She will then have a responsibility to her children.
Yeah.
And to stay alive for them. And as Rudy said I think he said in the bath, he was, when he was talking about, needing to make money for the family, that kind of idea, he was like, I'm not trying to go die.
Yeah. There's definitely that, like, aspect of self-preservation, but I also want, like, in the past, Sylphie's definitely been adamant, like, no, Ariel, like, I'm staying, like, with you, and, like, once this time's up, I'm going to come back to you. And if Sylphie does have that continued passion and desire to want to help Ariel, I want her to be able to, if she wants to. You know, I don't want her to lose her independence as a character,
autonomy or independence,
just because, like, she's married to Rudy. As long as it doesn't, like, as long as it isn't like Sylphie walking to her death, you know, that's a different story.
I mean, she's pretty capable.
Yeah.
So, and also we have other capable people that will be fighting for Ariel, no doubt. But there is also that idea of the liability of having someone that you care for on the battlefield next to you.
Yeah.
Like, it might strengthen you fighting with someone that you care about, because then you can bounce off of each other, you can read each other's movements better, you can tag team it. But there's also the idea that you could get hurt because they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether because you see them locked in this really intense battle and you're distracted, and then you get, you know, someone attacks you while you're distracted. There is that as well. Like, it could be not so safe to have Sylphie with you, which that's one of the things I would want to go back into the opening, if we were doing that, which we're not, to see if Sylphie is there in those battle scenes, because I don't think she was. But then again, having Norn and Aisha possibly there in the home could be exactly what Ariel's foreshadowing, with the idea of once Sylphie has kids, then hopefully that kind of idea will fade from her mind of going into battle. It could be that once Norn and Aisha move in and Sylphie is almost taking on a mother role there in terms of, like, responsibility and care.
I mean, the protection of them is going to be important, not to just Rudy, but to Paul. You know, they've done so much work trying to get their family back together. They wouldn't want to throw them back into risk anyway. Plus, we have Sylphie, like, us being told that Sylphie, like, has learned stuff from Zenith and Lilia. Like, they're the people who taught.
And she knows Norn and Aisha.
Yeah.
So, like, she was already, like, a big sister to Norn and Aisha before the mass teleportation.
One of my favorite lines in this entire episode is from Rudy, because I thought it was kind of sweet, of Sylphie being like, yeah, don't worry about cooking, leave it to me, but I don't know how you're going to like it. And Rudy was like, for you, I'd call charcoal delicious. Sweet.
I liked his hair down, too, since we're talking about the bath scene. I feel like I'm such a pure little baby sometimes, because as soon as I saw they were in the bath together, I was like, ah! And I was like, oh wait, Anna, they're like a married couple, it's okay. But then when he just picks her up, that was the funniest thing to me. Not the face he's making, like, over the bed, but I really liked the part where he, like, picks her up and the door, like, slams open.
Yeah.
Ah, what a nice house they live in. It's so
It does
beautiful.
look so cozy now.
Now I want potato chips, and, you know, that'd be awesome.
Alright, that's all I have you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.